You're watching IGN Live. Robert Kirkman's superhero epic made the jump from the page to the screen with a brutal animated series that doesn't pull any punches. Soon, fans will do some punching of their own in Invincible Versus. Here to tell me all about Invincible Versus, we have art director Dan Eder and combat designer Reepal Parbhoo. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
So I just saw the trailer. It looks incredible. But I did want to ask you, it seems like this game is a 3v3 tag fighter. Can you guys talk about why that was the right fit for this game?
I mean, I think in general, when you're watching the Invincible series or you're reading the comics, the team format really stands out, right? You've got teams like Team Teen, you've got Guardians of the Globe, you've got the GDA, you've got the Viltrumites. So just that part by itself, I think it naturally lends to a multi-team format versus a standard one versus one.
And then, Rip, can you tell, we didn't really get to see a lot of the interface or some of the mechanics. Can you tell us a little bit about what the mechanics are for this game?
I gotta have you repeat that one more time.
Oh,
it's loud in here.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the mechanics of the game? We didn't really see a lot of the HUD or anything like that.
Yeah, obviously it's a 3 versus 3 tag fighter. It's brutal action. It's very bloody. There's overkills. But mechanically speaking, you know, there's an auto combo system. So it's a really easy way for new players to get into the game. You can just do a combo by hitting one button repeatedly. That'll go into a special, into a super, and then you can easily tag and bring in your characters. And being a tag game, you want easy access to your assist, essentially. So our active tag system allows you to extend your combos using your teammates. And there's also a two-way dynamic that happens across there because of our Killer Instinct background, where you're able to break those assists and actually stop those combos midway through.
I'm going to come back to that Killer Instinct background in just a second. But Dan, Invincible has a very unique art style. Can you talk about how you went about recreating that art style in the game and what else you did to kind of, you know, invoke the comic of Invincible?
Yeah, I think because all of us are huge Invincible fans, we wanted to do the characters justice. The overall aesthetic of the show was a huge inspiration for us. But also we had to adapt to the medium, right? Like this is an actual fighting game. It's not an animated show. So there was a lot of decisions that had to be made with level of detail, rendering style, overall anatomy. Do we go realistic or do we go a little bit more stylized? So we wanted to capture a really interesting 2D, 3D sort of hybrid where the characters are for the most part pretty realistically lit, but then you have an outline, you have really graphic sort of details in the outfit, very vibrant color palette. At the end of the day, we wanted this to feel like an authentic representation of the characters in the show, and also the comics, right? So there's, thankfully with Invincible, there's so much inspiration and reference to pull from that made it easy for us.
So speaking of that Killer Instinct kind of, you know, DNA, one of the first things that I thought when I saw this trailer was Killer Instinct because of the hit stops, the really crunchy sound effects. Can you talk a little bit about how Killer Instinct has influenced the design of Invincible Versus?
Sure. So obviously, Killer Instinct was a 1 versus 1 tag fight, or 1 versus 1 fighter, but there's really a big impact in a lot of the hits, right? So we've brought that over to Invincible Versus. But really, the core of the KI influence in here is with that two-way interaction between offense and defense. So a lot of the times in Killer Instinct, what would happen is you could react to the combos, and if you're aware and you had the good reflexes, you could actually break the combos, right? At the highest level of the game, that actually got a little bit out of hand. The combos got really short because of it. But in a tag fighter, you want to still have long combos and feel like you're doing a lot. So what we've done is just put those breakpoints when you call in your active assist to break the combo. And similar to Killer Instinct, we also have a combo meter in this game. So you're not really limited in your combos in terms of, you know, this many ground bounces, this many wall bounces. You can do however many you want as long as you fit into that combo meter. And then to extend your combo and bring that combo meter down, you have to rely on your teammates to come in to bring that back. So once you're going to those phases where you're bringing your teammates in, that's when the opponent has an opportunity to say, I want to try and stop this, and I can react to that. But just like Killer Instinct, the other opponent on offense has the chance to mix you up as well.
So the trailer is a really good show of this, but Invincible is shockingly violent at times. How are you guys incorporating that violence into the fighting game?
Oh my gosh, it has got to be the bloodiest, most brutal tag fighter of all time, right? I mean, it's bloody as hell. Exactly. People clapping out here. It's amazing, and you expect that from this, right? But I think one of the big things we have in this game is the overkill system. So you are literally going to hit a superhero so hard that you're probably going to knock off a limb or two. That's just the way it goes in Invincible.
So satisfying when that happens, when you get the overkill and you get someone's head like getting just blown off. It's like mission accomplished.
It looks like it. Robert Kirkman, obviously the creator of Invincible, how involved has he been in this whole game process? game development process?
I think Robert is heavily involved artistically, but also, again, as the one who kind of put this world together. We value his opinion big time. We don't want this to feel detached from the source material. If anything, I think there's a lot that we can kind of use from his knowledge and find ways to mix it up, right? Like, we don't want to just kind of retread old ground. Like, hey, we did this in the show, let's do this 1-to-1 in the game, because then I think that can get a little bit boring. But instead, we're always looking at ways to elevate it. And Robert is a very core part of that conversation, right? Because who knows these characters better than him? And Ryan and Corey as well, the other creators. So I think that's the good thing about being part of Skybound, is that you have access to that knowledge and that creativity. Once you blend that with the sort of skills that we have on the gaming side of things, with Rip and the gameplay and all, everyone else involved, and then on the art side, I think it sort of creates something that feels wholly unique, but also, again, feels authentic to whatever Corey, Ryan, and kind of Robert are thinking of. So that's really cool. It's been a real pleasure working with them.
So there's a lot of tag fighters in the space, Marvel vs. Capcom, Blaze Blue Cross Tag. Have any of those kind of served as your guiding light in terms of developing the mechanics? And can you expand on how they have or have not?
Yeah, so definitely, obviously, we have a tag fighter background in this game, obviously. But I truly feel like our tag fighter is unique because of the Killer Instinct influences that we've put into the game. And I think the cool thing now in the tag space, 2026 is looking like the year of tag fighters, right? It's looking like the golden age of tag fighters even. And I think it's so cool how these games have all kind of evolved the genre. So you take that base of what you expect from a tag fighter and you add on to it, right? And so that's what we've done here. The two-way interaction with the combo system is a big part of that. Also, the overkill of the blood that we have, the brutality in general, the destruction in the arenas. That, I think, is all very unique to our tag fighter.
One interesting thing that I noticed is that Omni-Man is wearing his Viltrumite costume and not the typical, Omni-Man outfit that you would expect. Can you talk a little bit about why that is?
Dan?
Yeah. Well, so we are creating an original story for the game with the help of the creators again, which is really cool. So, how that's gonna play into the story remains to be seen. But again, we're always looking for ways to be creative with the characters and add some sort of added value for true fans of Invincible, right? Because you don't play the game just for gameplay, even though gameplay is awesome. We want people to actually feel like, hey, holy shit, this is a moment that I couldn't even imagine taking place between, I don't know, Eve and Mark. I think that's an opportunity that we have, because if you think about it, Invincible fans don't have that many opportunities to be actually hands-on with the characters. So we wanted to do something that feels really cool, but also feels like it's taking some risks, right? And because we don't want to play it safe. So when it comes to the story, we want something that has some sort of weight and drama to it, but also is something that the players are going to enjoy. Even if you're not an Invincible fan, we want this to really resonate with people who play our game.
Rip, did you want to add anything?
No, I did actually. So he brought up a really good point. When I read through the Invincible comics, I got towards the end of it and I was like, I want more. Where do I get more Invincible, right? So this is the first full featured game of Invincible with Invincible Versus here, and you do get to see those matchups that you never got to see in the comics, right? So something like Bulletproof versus Thula, like what happens if they get together, right? Bulletproof versus Eve even. You never get to see any of that stuff in the comics, but now you'll get to in the game.
Speaking of Omni-Man, he has been a guest character in Mortal Kombat. I just wanted to know, has that had any influence on how you designed him in this game?
It's actually pretty interesting because obviously in that game, they came up with the moveset for him. And when we came to design part of it, it's like, well, what's this character going to be like? And obviously right now you've only seen him from the story side of things. So like, is he even going to be a playable character? We got to find out and see. But from what we've seen so far, I think it's pretty different than what we've seen in Mortal Kombat.
So really quick to wrap up, I got 3 questions that every fighting game fan is going to want to know. Rollback, crossplay, and are you going to be at EVO?
Rollback? Yes, and speaking on the rollback front, obviously, Brandon Misak was also doing the rollback netcode for Killer Instinct back in 2013. He's the lead network engineer on this game as well. So you can count on the rollback being fantastic. Crossplay, definitely going to be included. What was the third question?
Are you going to be at EVO?
At EVO, that's a great question. But, One of the things about our team, we really value FGC feedback, and it's something we've already done. We've reached out to a lot of the top influencers and top players around the world already at this point. They've given us their feedback, and we've already incorporated that feedback into the game. So we love feedback, and hopefully by the end of the year, people can have more time to get hands-on with the game.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to kick some butt in Invincible Versus. We've got more IGN Live ahead, so don't go anywhere.